How is it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and today we are back on NBA 2K26, and we are in the Lebron era. We have been experimenting in these different eras with this Chaos Wheel and seeing what kind of results we can get with these different teams. And as of late, we have gotten into experimenting with using the actual rosters of some of these teams. And we're going to do that here today in the LeBron era as well. So we're going to roll the team wheel here in just a second, and we are going to see what team we will be controlling in this Chaos video today. Okay, so team wheel up here on the board. We'll give it a shuffle so it's nice and random, and we will see what team we will be controlling. We have controlled a few different teams already, and are we going to have a Chicago Bulls? Okay, so I believe in the LeBron era, Derrick Rose is still part of this roster. This might be, I think this is post-knee surgery, so he'll definitely be a different player. But we will take a look at their roster here in just a second, and we will get ourselves set up. First things first, we got to familiarize ourselves with the rules here. We have turned off the Stepien rule and the 30, 60, 90-day rule. We'll also turn off the recently traded restriction as well, so we can make deals freely without having to, avoid all of that. And we are not doing the fantasy draft, but we are going to customize the league rules here so we can abolish the trade deadline. So teams will be able to send us trade offers all season long. So that means we will be spinning the Chaos Wheel until we run out of time in the season. But we are here now in the rule changes, and as you can see, we are going to go here to trades and abolish the trade deadline. And we are going to move on now and pick the Chicago Bulls. Kenny, KOT4Q, that's my guy. He would be so happy right now, as we are going to use the historic draft classes, of course. And with that, we can take a look at our roster for the first time. So we do have Derrick Rose here. I mean, this is post, I guess this isn't post-knee surgery. Maybe this is, I don't know. Hold on. I gotta confirm for myself here. Okay, so this is pre-ACL tear Derrick Rose. He tore his ACL in 2012. So this is well before that. So we have a young star in Derrick Rose. Carlos Boozer, who was quite a solid player at this point in his career. He was definitely just an elite rebounder, and just, if you got him the ball on the right spot, he knew how to get to his spot. And Joakim Noah, man, we really thought Joakim Noah was really going to turn into the next big thing, and then he just ended up not really being that guy. But shout out to him. I'm a big Florida Gator fan as well, despite the fact that I went to WVU for college. But anywho, Luol Deng also is on this roster. I mean, this is a really solid Bulls roster. They're really only missing some shooting guard play, as Kyle Korver was on this team. Really? Why do I not remember Kyle Korver being a Bull? I mean, to be completely honest and transparent with you guys, I was not a great basketball fan up until I was about 13 years old, and even then, I played some 2K13 and was really awful at it. I cannot tell you guys how many times I played that rookie showcase or whatever it was called, trying to get myself a decent draft spot, but I could just not do it. And I was playing on pro back in those days. So long time of, just not really being a basketball fan. And even when I became a basketball fan, I didn't pay attention to it a ton up until the last few years. I've really grown a new appreciation and interest for basketball. I tried to make my high school basketball team. Didn't actually end up ever trying out because I just knew I wasn't good enough. But I definitely enjoyed playing basketball for myself, but just never watched a ton of NBA, and that's something I kind of regret. But I'm trying to make up for that now and learn as much as I can along the way in doing these sims. I've actually learned quite a bit about the history of the NBA, and that's one of the things I really do appreciate 2K4, even for all of the junk and shit they put us through with their systems. But it is time for us to spin the wheel for this Bulls team. How are we going to affect the roster right off the bat? We've had some crazy things happen in a couple of different videos. I'm really hoping that for once maybe we get some back-to-back positive effects. But knowing me, I just jinxed ourselves. So here's our Chaos Wheel on the screen. Still 22 effects on it. Would love to add more, so if you have any effects or ideas you think would be a great addition to our wheel, feel free to comment them below. And while you're there, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people, and we will see what the wheel has to say for us. What will we do? We are accepting... Oh no, are we doing a blockbuster? Okay. So who are we going to try to execute a blockbuster trade with? There's quite a few good teams in this era. I mean, the Miami Heat, anybody? As we are... Oh, okay, we almost land on the Miami Heat. However, there's another great team in this era that might be worth making a deal with, as we are looking at a deal with the San Antonio Spurs. So I'm going to do some digging in their roster, see what we can do, and I will get back with you guys very soon. A blockbuster, I would say. If the Spurs were to trade Manu Ginobili away at all, I think that would be pretty blockbuster for them at this era, when they have a huge big three that I think in this very season wins them a championship. Trading away part of that big three would be kind of crazy. But he is 33 years old, and I think we could make a move here if we throw the right pieces. Now, this is my initial offer because the money works. I have full expectation that they will pass on that. So we are going to see what we can do to get this trade to go through, and I will be right back. Okay, so this will be my second offer. I'm willing to throw in a lottery protected pick. I think this is next year, and then an unprotected pick a couple years down the line. I think that's worth it for the value he gives us for like the next year or two. He is signed for 3 years, so we will see if this goes through. They're still saying no. I don't want to have to give up another first. So I guess this becomes the... I mean, I don't know how the protection rules work. I think if the protection gets activated, they get the protection backup pick. So I am... Okay. Maybe if I reduce the protection, I'll even throw it all the way up to a top 3 protected. Do you have more interest in that? We are gambling with our team's future here. But if I'm going to give up another first, I'm definitely putting a lottery protection on this. And I think this becomes critical if they don't accept it. I mean, and they're not even putting out a counter. I mean, the Spurs are going to be a tough team to make a deal with here. I mean, there's a route where we trade away Derrick Rose, but I'm not willing to do that because I'm just like, I don't want to have to give him up right away. That's the guy I want to build around. At the end of the day, it might become a respin kind of situation, but I'm going to give it a couple more shots and see what there is to see, and I will reconvene with you again soon. This is another offer I'm willing to send out. We have thrown in Taj Gibson into this deal. I could have sworn he wore 67 at one point for the Bulls, but maybe I'm wrong. But we do have 2 picks still included in this deal. We also had to throw in this guy here to make the deal work as far as players go. So let's throw this out. They're not interested. This is my best offer, I think. That's insane. I mean, it does just make them so bad. I mean, they would be very weak at shooting guard without Manu. So it might just not be possible here. The Spurs, I mean, 3 firsts in that deal, you would think. I mean, I've got one more idea, and I just don't like the idea of doing it, but I will do it if I have to. So let me get it on the screen, and I'll be right back. I'm just curious if they're interested in this deal. Luol Deng for Manu Ginobili straight up. They have the same value. They're not interested in that, but their money matches. So I don't know what I can add, if I can add anything player-wise. I may be willing to throw in Taj Gibson and a lot of reprotected first next year. Is that interest you? Maybe that package and 2 firsts? And that goes through. So we put a lot on the line in that trade. We wager 2 years of our team's future and give up Luau Dang, who is a great defender and a pretty solid scorer as well. But we acquire Manu Ginobili, a blockbuster trade right off the bat for our Chicago Bulls. I'm going to adjust our roster and lineup because that's what we're going to have to do. And then we will check back in with each other soon once we have everything in place. So here are your Chicago Bulls to begin the season. We've got Derrick Rose at the point, Manu at shooting guard, Ronnie Brewer at small forward, Carlos Boozer at power forward, and Joakim Noah at center. This lineup is solid. We'll go over here into our sim points of emphasis. We'll make sure we're playing to our star and that he's got the green light. We definitely want to be playing physical defense, and it looks like our rebounding tendencies are on point. So, chaos complete, and what a trade deal that ended up being. So let's go over to the games wheel and see how many games we will sim to start this season. Man, I am absolutely excited to see what this team is capable of this year, and we will have a whole 17 games to get a taste for what this lineup is able to do. So I will see you guys in 17 games. So 17 games have passed. We are 9-8. Chemistry is building. Haven't started out particularly hot, but we have put up a good performance in some games here as we look at this like magic box score. D Rose and Manu Ginobili are quite a potent combo in the backcourt, and they're doing pretty good things together. 25 and 21 between the two of them. Carlos Boozer also putting up 20 and 11. Joakim Noah putting up a whole 6 and 18. I mean, what are we doing? Against the Lakers here, let's see. D Rose 35, Manu 32, Boozer 26. So we've got a pretty potent big three with these three now. And, you know, I think we don't regret the deal we made because I think over time this roster is going to continue to play better and better together. But will the wheel allow that to happen? We will see. Chaos wheel shuffled and spinning. So will my head be when we do something crazy here like trading away our best player. Please don't be that. Please don't be that. Please don't be that. Oh, why, dude? Dude, I can't believe it, man. You would think that I do this for content, and this is great content, but boy, oh boy. All right, well, we are going to see who Derrick Rose is going to here, and we are going to assess what deal we will get in the trade finder for him. Oh, dude, the Wizards or the Jazz, and neither one of those options is good. Although, I think John Wall might be on the Wizards right now, so we could swap one electric point guard for another, but I will have to check, and we will be right back. Okay, so they do indeed have John Wall on their roster. Now, this is a tough deal, I think, to make because the value of John Wall versus Derrick Rose is pretty comparable. So it's just going to be tough to see what they're willing to do here. We'll offer this straight up at first. I mean, I'm willing to only take their first this year. Wow. So John Wall is untouchable to them. I mean, maybe... if I don't touch your first this year and you give me your first next year and, the year after? Next year's first only? How about a couple of later firsts? Okay, the 2014 and 2015 first. Just the 2015 first? Wow. Does this go through straight up? Dude, okay, so Derrick Rose for John Wall is not a trade they are willing to make. The other players on this roster are not hot or not very attractive options for us. I mean, Andre Black, B potential, Nick Young, B potential. Gilbert is not a god in this sim. He is over the hill, and like that's it. Like, these guys are probably about as good as they're ever going to be. I mean, shit. At the end of the day, we have to trade away our best player to the Wizards. That is the task we have been given. So, what do we do here? I think any deal we make... I mean, any deal that we would want to make here would have to include John Wall to cover the loss at point guard. I mean, I do not want to take on the Gilbert Arenas money. And, I mean, honestly, we can really only afford, like, if we put Nick Young, Andre Blatch in the deal. But then I definitely want an unprotected first and your 13 first. Yeah, but you could put John Wall at shooting guard, and then it doesn't matter. Hold on. I have a feeling if I do a little something, they won't think that anymore. Okay, so I've added an extra first in here just in case, and let's see if this is a trade the Wizards accept. They're not getting enough back for what they're giving up. Will you feel that way if I throw in a second? How about if I throw in a couple seconds? What if I throw in 3 seconds? Oh, they're not interested. I'll give you this pick swap. Oh, we're so close. I can feel the closeness. I mean, maybe we throw in, like, can we find someone super cheap? Like Antonio Daniels? Does that work for you guys? And another second. And the last second we've got. Oh my god, we're so close. The we're not interested in this trade is like the step below them accepting the trade. So we are like right on the precipice. We just need to find like the right BS that they're willing to take. I mean, does Kurt Thomas it push you over the top? And the rest of our seconds? Oh my gosh, we're so close. Guys, we're so close. I hate it. I feel like we could absolutely get this third pick from them. We could absolutely get that third pick from them. I just don't know how. I don't know what it would take. This top 10 protected Bobcats pick, which, knowing the Bobcats, that means that pick is definitely going back to them. So, what do you mean we can't? What do you mean I can't trade it? Ugh, God, the trade rules are so ridiculous sometimes. You know what? No, we can't even trade. We can't trade any of our own like first round picks. It looks like. Yeah, we cannot. Yeah, we can't trade any of these. So maybe we just leave it at this, and then we shouldn't have to give up the seconds. And okay, well I guess they're just not interested now. Okay, a couple seconds. Oh my God, how many seconds are you interested? There is no way. Wow. Oh my God, Wizards. You are getting Derrick Rose and John Wall on the same roster, brother. What if we just do 2011 and 2014? They're still not interested. How about we throw in a second? How about 2 seconds? How about 3 seconds? How about 4 seconds? I am about to put my controller through this monitor. You guys are getting back so much value for what you are giving up. Oh my God. Dude, this is what I was talking about in the Clippers dynasty. Like, I don't understand how teams can be such greedy little fucks with their teams, dude. You are giving up 2 players who aren't going to develop past what they are right now. and you're giving up a couple picks for one of the best players of this era. You think I want to be doing this deal with you, Washington? You think I want to be giving up Derrick Rose? You think I want to be doing this? I could be simming games, winning them, because we have two insane players. But no, I have to give up one of them for a bag of fucking chips because you guys don't want to give up anything in return. Dude, okay. Is it really just going to be one pick? They're still not interested. What is it going to take? Oh my god, dude. Like, I'm not even sad that we trade away Derrick Rose. Like, I am sad, but that was just exhausting because the Wizards suck, dude. I used to have, like, a passive fanship towards the Wizards because I'm in that area. They're a team I want to see succeed, but fuck the Wizards, dude. Oh my god, I'm going to never see a Wizards game in my life again after trying to make that trade. But it is done. I will fix the roster and talk with you when I have, I don't know, collected my brains from off the floor. Okay, so here are the new look Bulls. I know that any Bulls fan watching this video is as devastated as I am that Derrick Rose is not a part of this lineup so quickly into this experiment, but that is what the Chaos Wheel wished of us, and we are bound to answer its call. So Manu Ginobili will now play some point guard for us with Nick Young coming in at shooting guard. And luckily, we still have a pretty solid front court, and I still think this backcourt can produce. And honestly, Andre Blatch as our sixth man off the bench who can cover power forward and center for us, I think is a pretty big positive for us. We definitely needed someone who could play those positions because we did not have anybody there before. So we will now finally get to spin the games wheel again to see when we will have to do something next. Alrighty, so we're going to try to turn what we had to do there into a net positive, but we will see in 7 games how this team is looking. So 7 games have passed, and I mean, the team's not looking too bad. We do have a winning record right now. If we take a look at our box score here against the Thunder, Carlos Boozer leading the way with 38-4. Manu had 23-2 and no assists, which is kind of disappointing. We definitely want him to be distributing the ball to our guys a little bit more. I mean, let's see here in this game how we did. Nick Young with 26-2, Manu with 27-6. There's a more assist-heavy game from him. So the team's got some potential maybe, even with Derrick Rose out of the lineup. But we will see what we are doing with the Chaos Wheel this time. We will give this a spin. Are we making yet another trade, or are we just affecting our own roster? We are trading away our draft pick this year. Guys, how does this keep happening? We have so many effects on this wheel. I've shuffled the wheel, and we still end up landing on the worst possible things. So I believe we have 1 draft pick this year that we literally just acquired. So we will see who will be acquiring this pick from us. If it's the Wizards, I'm literally going to blow my brain smooth off. But it is the Clippers. I see the Bulls on there. We'll definitely have to take ourselves off of the wheel. I will fix that. But I will see what we can get from the Clippers for our pick this year. Okay, so we are in the trade finder, and you do see that we have 2 first-round picks this year. However, if you are a little bit confused if it means we are trading both away, it means that we are only trading away our own first pick. So we will add this here unprotected, and we will see what the Clippers will offer us. Everyone's willing to give us a pick here, or give us a offer, it looks like. And the Clippers are offering us literally like the worst trade I have ever seen in my entire life. So we're going to have to negotiate this here because, yeah, this is pretty bad. So I will be back very soon. The Clippers have, like, no ability to trade any of their picks. So we are going to see if this deal goes through. I mean, if we can get any sort of pick value back, that kind of is better than what this offer they gave us is. Yeah, whatever. I love when they just add a bunch of random BS onto the end of a trade. We will take that deal. We have traded away our pick this year. We do manage to acquire a pick in return, so we do manage to make, I think, the best of that situation. But, man, I really would have liked to go out to dinner first before the wheel bent me over and fucked me. So we will spin the games wheel now after we fix the minutes and everything, and we will see how long until the next time I'm railroaded with no dinner first. Minutes fixed, and we are back on the game wheel now. How long do we get a break this time? It might be 19. That would be nice after the last couple of effects. So we will sim 19 games now. We will see how this lineup does with a little bit of an extended period to play together, and I will be back with you soon. We have simmed 19 games here, and if you're looking at the schedule right now, we have been on a hot streak as of late. Carlos Boozer was a little bit banged up, and he finally got healthy, and I think most of the roster is finally healthy. But we are starting to play good basketball together, as we'll take a look at this Pacers box score here. Manu, Carlos Boozer, and Nick Young combining to be a pretty effective big three of their own in this game, as Andre Blatch putting up a pretty good performance off the bench, and then Joakim Noah being a real board snatcher for us. And then, like, some of these other performances is probably going to be much of the same. Carlos Boozer having a huge game on the boards in this one, 20 and 24. And then Manu, 19 and 2 assists. Joakim Noah had 14 boards of his own. So the team is playing well. This is pretty pleasant to see in our first year. But it is now time to answer to the Chaos Wheel once again. Time to shuffle her up and give her a spin. What are we going to land on? And, oh my gosh, is this the wackiest start to one of these Chaos rebuilds? I might say so. So, who are we trading away our best player to? I think that's going to be Manu Ginobili, so the guy we literally just acquired. We are going to have to find a deal for him here. Who is it going to be to? Wouldn't it be hilarious if it was the Spurs? But we are going to be looking at the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm going to see what we can produce here, and then I will be right back. So, looking in the trade finder here, actually, it's saying right now that Joakim Noah is our best player. So we will throw him in the trade finder, and we will see what we can get from the Mavericks. So let's take a look here. Are the Mavericks one of the only teams not offering us a deal? All right, so we will have to take a look here at them manually. I mean, they do have Tyson Chandler, so I can see why they are not necessarily interested. I mean, Tyson Chandler wouldn't be bad value to get back, but Joakim Noah is very cheap, whereas Tyson Chandler is not, and we do not have a ton of salary to be able to throw around. We have a lot invested into our top three guys, or our top two guys here, leaving us kind of short on room to negotiate elsewhere. So here's what we do. Let's take a look. I mean, they've got an ancient Jason Kidd. Do they have anybody that's like young and sort of promising? Literally no, dude. Oh my god, this Mavs roster is disgusting. Didn't this Mavs team win a did this Mavs team win a championship? Was it this Mavs team? Oh my god, if it was this Mavs team, holy cow. Let's see. What are we willing to make a deal for? We could pick up Sean Marion. Yeah, and then we throw in Ronnie Brewer maybe. And then they need to throw back a player just to get the players right. Maybe we just ask for 2013 unprotected. Oh, and they're actually pretty willing to take that deal. Maybe a little too willing. Maybe I should ask for another pick. Okay, there we go. That's a deal I can get behind. So, Alexis Ajinça, and they also want Brian Cook, but we get 2 picks from the Mavs here. And in a couple years here, I think those Mavs picks might be valuable. So we're going to go ahead and accept that deal. We'll say goodbye to Joakim Noah, and we're going to fix the roster and be right back. Okay, so here's the starting lineup now. And, you know, honestly, all things considered, I feel like that deal looks pretty good for us with the lineup we've got here. Andre Blatch now enters the starting lineup, but Sean Marion will take over that small forward job. And we will have C.J. Watson, Kyle Korver, Keith Bogans, and Jaron Collins coming off of our bench. So let's go ahead and sim the games wheel, and we will see how this new look team does in their first period of play together. This is why I said that it was important for us to acquire those depth pieces, as we will have another 19-game sim period. But because we acquired Andre Blatch in that deal with the Wizards, we end up not being hurt so much by having to trade away a guy like Joakim Noah. And this team might still be capable of winning games here. So we will sim another 19, and I will be with you soon. Okay, so we have reached the contract extension deadline here. So we are still a few games away from the end of the sim period. But let's go ahead and take a look and see who needs re-signed. Andre Blatch needs a new deal. Is he worth bringing back at $7 million a year? Is he someone I feel like we can continue to work around for the next couple of years? Absolutely. And I think he is someone I would happily keep as our 6th man if he doesn't get any better than he is right now, which I don't think he really will. So we will happily re-sign him. But everybody else, it looks like we can't re-sign except for the White Mamba himself, Mr. Brian Scalabrine, and I am unfortunately going to let you walk there, pal. But I will see you here in a few games once we have finished the 19-game sim period. And here we are. So not too long, but we've had a pretty good month or so of play, I would say the 19-game period has been. And, I mean, the team is still putting up great performances game after game. We are starting to get a little bit cold here at the end of the season, having a few losses in a row. But we will see what the Chaos Wheel has to say. We do not have many games left in the season, so we might be spinning the wheel for one of the last times so far this season already. We'll go ahead and give it another shuffle and spin her around. What will we be getting from the Chaos Wheel? Okay, so we are accepting the next CPU trade we get, and we can negotiate. So that's one of the newer effects we've added. So I think that adds a lot of mystery and fear into the sim period here. So we will see how many games we are simming here, and I mean, at some point we'll get a trade offer. Sometimes we might end... Okay, so a period this short, we might not get an offer in. So we could end up having to do something else before we even get a CPU trade. But we will see. We'll start simming, and if we get a CPU trade, it'll pop up on your screen first. Okay, so we have received a trade here. It is Sean Marion for Richard Jefferson and a 2013 first from the Spurs. That's an interesting deal that I don't dislike per se. I would maybe do that. Are you willing to throw us another first? They are willing to throw us another first if we give them Omer Ashik and they'll give us some other guy in return. I think we make that deal, and we will adjust our roster once again, and I will be right back. Okay, so here's how the lineup's looking right now. Things are getting a little bit strange. But Manu's still at the point. Kyle Korver's at shooting guard right now because Nick Young's recovering from an injury. Richard Jefferson, my favorite bald unk, is at the small forward. And the other bald unk we got is at power forward, Carlos Boozer. And then Andre Blatch is at center. So we've got an interesting team going on. We still have a few games left in the sim period that we need to get done. So I will check back in with you in 6 games, because that's how many we've got left, and we will see what we do next. So 9 games have passed. Team is playing some decent basketball even up to this point. Nick Young putting up 27, 4-2, and Manu Ginobili 23, 6-4 in this game. Our 2 rebounding guys up front doing what they do best, and we are 46-24 as we are approaching our next spin. Definitely getting down to the final few spins of the season, if not the last one right here. We will spin once more. We have done a litany of things. We have gotten quite a mix, and we are going to acquire a draft pick. So that's finally something positive. So we're going to see what team we will acquire a pick from here. We'll spin the wheel, and we will see. There are a lot of good options. It could be harder if we land on a bad team like the Kings, but it looks like we are going to see if we can acquire a draft pick from the Grizzlies here. So I'm going to go look in the trade finder and see what there is to see as far as acquiring a pick from them. So here's the deal I think we will take. Not necessarily the fondest of giving up Alexis Ajinça, but at the end of the day, he's not going to develop into like a superstar. He's just a solid, like, super depth piece for us. So getting a pick back, I think, is what we would rather do instead. So we will hit accept on this trade. We've acquired a draft pick here, and I don't think that affects our rotation at all, but it will mess the roster up, and it does this every time. So, oh, it did affect the roster a little bit, because I think one of our guys was getting 12 minutes there. But we fixed that now, and now we will spin the games wheel and see if we are going to spin another time before the season is over. All right, we are spinning the games wheel. Will we be spinning the chaos wheel again? I think we will, because we will be spinning it after next game. So we will reconvene here very shortly. Okay, so we have won this Grizzlies game here. Manu put up 33, 2, and 9. And then once again, our guys on the boards are going absolutely crazy there. But it is time for us to spin the wheel once again. Keep thinking that we're going to be done with it, but it keeps coming back for more. So let's spin and see what we've got this time. All right, so we are spinning. What will the wheel have for us? It has given us just about everything you could think of this year. We're trading for a team's oldest player. You know, funnily enough, we have not had to do a ton of that this year. So I will happily accept having to do something like that late in the game. And who are we looking to make a deal with? A lot of options with old players. I mean, there is just so many unks going around in this era, it would seem. But we will have to see if we can acquire the Lakers' oldest player. So I will be right back. Okay, and we are looking at the Lakers roster here, and we are looking at a familiar face in Theo Ratliff. Actually, 2 familiar faces from Clippers Chaos. And we are going to see what deal we can get for Theo Ratliff. Okay, so there you want Jan Mahimi for both of these guys. This one, though, we get a center in return, so we'll take this deal straight up. That's just a super easy, like, once again, that's a nothing trade for us to make here late in the game. Definitely fine to make that, but Theo Ratliff will find himself getting 12 minutes for us, so go him. CJ Watson's still hurt down there on the bench. Definitely want to get him back on the court soon. But we will spin the games wheel. Will we be spinning the chaos wheel again this season? I keep saying it, and it keeps happening, so at one point I will be correct. And it is spinning. Will we be able to finish out our season chaos-free? I think with that number, we just might. And counting it out here quickly, yes, we will. So I will see you guys when we are doing our end-of-season recap. Okay, so season complete, and we are looking at a LeBron James MVP, averaging almost 38 and 8 with 2 steals and a block. Blake Griffin wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 25, 12, and 4 with a steal. And Greg Oden wins Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 11 and 12. Dwight wins DPOY, averaging 21-14 and almost 3 blocks. And Jordan Farmar wins Most Improved, 16, 3, and 7 for him, as well as a steal. The Heat wins 65-17, so Coach Spoles wins Coach of the Year. And hey, we win Executive of the Year for our 53-29 record that we managed to put up this season. So let's see how the All-NBA teams are looking here. Russ on the All-NBA first here. Let's get their stats up so we can see. So he was averaging 25, 6, and 9 this season. Pretty great season from him. D. Wade ends up here averaging 28, 7, and 6. And him and LeBron on that Heat team. Nasty combination. Powell ends up on All-NBA first as well, averaging 23, 15, and 4. Rebounding menace. Oh my goodness. Okay. Kobe on the All-NBA second, averaging 36 and 4. Derrick Rose in his first year on the Wizards, averaging 28, 5, and 6. We hated seeing him walk out the door. Kevin Love averaging 22, 16, and 2. Oh my goodness. Kevin Durant averaging 29, 7, and 3. Tim Duncan 20, 12, and 4. And then on the All-NBA third, Brandon Jennings. Oh my goodness, Brandon Jennings averaged 25, 4, and 6 this year. That's not something I usually see. Super young Steph here averaging 21, 5, and 5. Steph rebounding numbers, kind of crazy. Josh Smith, the guy that 2K will always convince us is insane, averaging 21, 10, and 4. And Zach Randolph also averaging 20, 13, and 1. And Dwight rounding out this All-NBA third with the stats that we've already seen from him. And then the usual suspects you would expect, Elton Brand on the All-Defensive second, and Paul Millsap on the All-Defensive second, and Andrew Bogut. A couple of surprising names there, I think. But John Wall ends up on that All-Rookie team. Him and Derrick Rose are going to be a potent combo, I think, for years to come. And no love for us, but we don't need that because we don't have any rookies on our squad. And we're in the playoffs. We are the 2 seed in the East, and we are going up against the Wizards team, which we had just made the deal for. So we will sim through these games here, and we will see White Mamba get some playing time. And can we close out this game? Oh, CJ Watson's finally healthy again, so we can put him back in the lineup. That's good timing. So we will get him back in the 6-man role and reduce everyone else's minutes. And let's go ahead and sim next game as the Wizards are climbing back in the series. But we are up in Game 6. Can we close it out here in Game 6? It looks to be a tight game, but we are pulling away in the fourth, and we do manage to win here in the first round. So, second round now, we're up against the Celtics. Can we win a championship in the first season? This would be 2 super short series in a row. However, we have to overcome this Miami Heat squad. We're talking about a Heat squad of Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh. Joel Anthony's playing center for them. I don't remember that being the case. And then Mario Chalmers is their point guard. But we've got Manu, Nick Young, Richard Jefferson, Carlos Boozer, and Andre Blatch on our side. We've got the Bron stoppers, let me tell you. So we will begin simming here as Miami takes Game 1. And Theo Ratliff is healed, but that doesn't affect our rotation. They also take Game 2 and 3. And we are eliminated in 4. I mean, valiant effort, I would say, for us, but we can't compete with LeBron putting up 46, 10, and 7 in the closeout game. I mean, what was he doing in all of these games? Bosh had a crazy Game 1. Yeah, 44, 34, and 32 in Game 2. I mean, you can't compete against that when we're up and coming. But making the conference finals in year one, I think, is incredible, as the Spurs are looking to sweep their series as well, and they will do so. And once again, just like in real life, we will see a real-life matchup, or in-sim matchup, anyway, of the Heat versus Spurs. Now, this is a different look Spurs team. As you can see, no Manu Ginobili, as he is a Bull in this reality. So it is Tony Parker, Garrett Temple, Luol Deng, DeJuan Blair, or DeJuan Blair. I don't know why I said DeJuan. I'm just a dumb idiot. DeJuan Blair and Tim Duncan on that team. And now it's Big Z at center. What is going on? Didn't Birdman play center for this team, or was that after this season? I don't know. But we will sim here, and we will see who is walking away as the Spurs win Game 1 and the Heat win Game 2. Spurs in 3. Spurs win 4. Okay, Heat win Game 5, but the Spurs with Luol Deng and company, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Luol Deng are going to beat the Heat in 6. What a season. This has definitely been one of the most entertaining seasons as far as how the wheel has affected what we've done and how the season ended up turning out. So we will enter the offseason now, and we will have a second season of this Bulls team. I was thinking this might be a one and done. We did manage to put together a good squad, but we will have to run it back as we look at retirements here. Juwan Howard, Jerry Stackhouse, Joe Smith, Grant Hill, Big Z, Antonio McDyess. No one too legendary, I would say. No one Hall of Fame worthy, definitely, as we definitely don't see a Hall of Fame induction. We will head to the draft lottery now. Now, looks like we do not have a pick in the lottery this year. That's definitely tragic. So we're going to skip the lottery. So the Suns, the Cavs, and the Kings are going to be top 3 in this lottery. We do end up with the 15th pick from the Wizards, which I think that is a huge win for us. As you can see, the Clippers end up with the 25th pick from us. So net positive, I would say, as all things are considered here. So the 15th pick isn't bad. I think we can definitely do something with it. We definitely probably would have preferred having a second pick in this draft, but things happen. We can't always come out on top when it comes to things like that. So we drew it back to the drawing board, and we will come back stronger. So we will reach the draft here, and it is time for the draft chaos wheel. So let's get the draft chaos wheel up and see what we will have to achieve with this draft. Draft chaos wheel on the screen. We're going to give this a nice good old shuffle. What will we have to try to do in this draft? This draft wheel could definitely use some more effects on it, as we almost had to acquire the number 1 pick, which I don't know how we would have done that. But instead, we have to do a major trade back here. And we will see here, who are we doing a major trade back here? And at our pick here, it might be trading out of this first round and acquiring future talent as, oh man, we got to make a trade with the Spurs, and that definitely means we're trading out of the first round. So I will be right back when we have a offer on the screen. We are executing, or trying to execute, a trade back here where the Spurs come up and get the 15th pick. We get the 28th pick in the draft, and then a future first from them, as well as a second. We'll see if they have any interest in that. They do if we give them this random dude. Okay. So we, instead of having the 15th pick in this draft class, which could have meant having, somebody maybe half decent. This is a pretty deep draft class. We will be at the end of the draft drafting somebody completely insignificant, more than likely. So we're just going, we'll watch the first few picks here. So Kawhi Leonard is going to be a Sun. Klay Thompson goes to the Cavs. As Isaiah Thomas goes to the Kings. That's ironic. The Jazz are going to take Kyrie. And the Bobcats take Vucevic. And Jimmy Butler goes at 6. So he goes pretty deep in this draft. Kenneth Faried goes at 7. That's a random generated guy. Kemba goes at 9. And that's another auto-generated guy. So we'll sim to our pick here at 28. Okay, Davis Bertans is here. Oh, boy. Tickle me excited with that pick. I mean, there's no one really here left worth taking. I mean, maybe this guy with the A- potential that it says turns into something, but all things told, not necessarily thinking that is going to be much of anything. And with that, we will go to rookie signings. I don't know where I got this pick from. Oh, I guess they gave us their second-round pick this year as well in that trade. So, team and player options here. Definitely going to reject these two, but we will keep James Johnson on the roster. And we will extend the qualifying offer to Nick Young, I think. Let's take a look here at our contracts and our cap holds. So, we definitely want to hold that one, but everything else here we can absolutely let go of. But we still don't have a ton of cap room. I mean, where is the money on our roster at right now? Like I said in my last Chaos rebuild, this is kind of like the one period of the season, aside from letting the wheel decide if we can go after the biggest target in the free agent class. This is the one time of year where we can kind of be smart about things and try to put ourselves in better position. I mean, we don't have, like, a ton of bad money. I mean, these two are making very large sums of money, but 28 isn't bad. I mean, Richard Jefferson making 30 or 9 at his age, I think, is something we might want to get off of. So let's go ahead here and let's see if we can maybe produce a deal that gives us a little bit of salary relief and, you know, something that benefits us. Okay, so a Suns pick here. What is that deal? Oh my God, no. Ben Gordon. Okay, that's not a bad deal from the Pistons. I don't hate that. I mean, we end up worse salary-wise, I guess, so maybe that's not the deal we want to take. I mean, we're trying to get out from this salary, and we don't do that by picking up more salary. This Tony Allen and DeMarre Carroll deal is pretty intriguing. Tony Allen's a great defensive player, and DeMarre Carroll is young and is pretty solid as far as shooting goes. And I think that's just a net positive for us. So we'll take this Grizzlies deal. And now we've got a couple of young pieces, and I think that gives us a little bit more cap freedom here. But either way, we can't really go after anybody that's worth spinning the wheel for. So the goal here becomes then let's fill our roster and fill the holes that we have, as Tony Allen, I guess, is going to play some small forward for us. And center, I think, becomes our biggest point of need, as did Andre Blatch walk in free agency, I guess? Oh, he's at power forward. Oh, that's right. We've had Andre Blatch playing center instead of power forward. So I think, you know, here's what we do. We definitely go ahead and move Andre Blatch to center for now, and that's the lineup. So we could use a backup power forward and maybe even a center. And someone who could stretch the floor at the 4 position would be great, like a Sean Williams maybe. Maybe we offer him a deal, and then maybe, let's see, what do we have at center? Definitely don't want Theo Ratliff back at his age. This is kind of an era where not a lot of centers are going to be able to shoot very effectively. So maybe we go after just someone who can be a solid defensive guy for us. I mean, Yao at 30 is an interesting prospect. We can't afford him, aside from the fact that it says he's affordable. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe we go after Nenad Kristic here. I'll offer him a deal. He's a decent mid-range shooter, if nothing else. And we've got two guys accepting deals there. And then we are waiting on Nick Young to get his deal, and we will match that. And, I mean, of all the guys, I wanted us to get Sean Williams more than Nenad Krishtik, but all right. So we will have to go back to the drawing board at what we do at power forward, and I guess we're going to go with Steve Novak here, and he will sign, and we will have some holes on this roster, it would appear, and that'll be problematic, but we do get a pretty decent backup center, and that will be important, so we don't have to worry about backup power forward as much, I think. But this will be the roster going into next season as we head in here to player progression and see how things are looking. And Carlos Boozer and Manu Ginobili are getting a little bit worse. Can't say I necessarily didn't expect that. Nick Young does get a little bit better, though. Andre Blatch doesn't. Kyle Korver gets a little bit better at 30. That's surprising. Tony Allen is getting worse. I hate to see that. Damari Carroll does get a little bit better. And, okay, so a little bit of a mixed bag as far as our progression is going. But walking into next season here, we have all the potential in the world to go up from here. I think with the Chaos Wheel maybe benefiting us and being a little bit kinder to us next year, maybe we win a championship. We're forgetting that we were 4 games away from winning the conference finals. We were so close. So that brings us to the end of this first episode of this LeBron era chaos with the Chicago Bulls. I hope you enjoyed watching this video with me, trying to complete an objective that will be impossible near with the Miami Heat being the team that they are. But if you are interested in seeing how this series concludes, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue to grow and reach more people so they can also enjoy me struggling to try to beat this super team. And I hope to catch you in another video here very soon. Take care.